or the attendance, I should say, just went out. A reminder, you're not actually attending if you aren't in the room as a human being, physical presence. So if you're at home and you say you're here because you're watching the stream, that doesn't count, all right? So we've found a few issues with that. So again, you're not present unless you're physically in here, and I can see you with my eyeballs right now, which everyone in here is fine. So for those of you at home, you're not here. Don't say you're here, please. All right, so it's 2:33. I'm going to call the meeting of College Senate for November 2023 to order. If you are not a voting senator, make sure you sign the attendance sheet on your way in or your way out. If you're already sitting, that's perfectly fine. All right, so as we begin the meeting, something that we are trying to do is talk about what the charge of the College Senate is. And I was going to call on someone to do it, and then I forgot to warn them, so I'm just going to read it. All right, so the charge of the College Senate is the central component of shared governance at Erie Community College. The College Senate studies, discusses, and makes resolutions on matters pertaining to the core academic mission of the college and to the interrelationships among academics and the other functional areas of the college, such as budgeting, student services, and workforce development. And as a reminder, we follow Robert's Rules of Order to conduct business at the College Senate. So one of the other things that I've been trying to do is to review a few rules here and there as each meeting goes on. So today's reminder is that in order to obtain permission to address the floor or the body of the College Senate, you must be recognized by the chair, which is me, in case you forgot. So as we are debating within the body, if you want to share against one way or another of a topic that's being debated or discussed, you have to raise your hand and then be recognized by myself in order to then respond. So no back and forth discussions between two senators without being recognized by a chair. So now part of that is also so that we keep the debate balanced, right? So we don't want the same two people to be constantly back and forth. We want to make sure we have opinions on both sides of a debate recognized and to give opportunity to all members of the College Senate voice. To be recognized by the chair, you must also be a member of the College Senate and a voting senator or a liaison of the College Senate. Depending on the issue, I may or may not recognize an individual who is not a member of the College Senate to address the floor. But again, all members of the college are welcome to attend College Senate because this is an open meeting and we run under open meeting laws. We do have a portion at the end of the College Senate meeting that is offline, which is our town hall portion, which anyone who has questions or concerns, we can most definitely address them then during that portion of the meeting. And then just a reminder that College Senate business is academic in nature, and this is not the appropriate place to air complaints or grievances. We follow the business of the agenda, and anything of that nature, that's something that we can then discuss during the town hall portion of the meeting. So with that, opening of the November meeting, we had some really great events in the last week, and then also upcoming, we had open house last week, which Erickson and Phil Struble are going to talk to us about. We have the spring 2024 schedule is live. We have a registration event tomorrow and Thursday at South Campus that is faculty-led. We're going to have hot lunches for students from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. In the South Campus Library. So thank you to the library for hosting that for us. We have faculty volunteers that are going to be there, and that's for all students at all 3 campuses. Students are welcome to take a shuttle if they want to. We're going to have a chicken Mediterranean pasta with pita tomorrow, and then we're going to have hot roast beef sandwiches on Thursday. Because as you know, we don't have hot food options at the South Campus. There's a market that has a microwave, so we really want to try and treat the students with something special. So please share. The flyer for the event is posted in the Senate site, so you can feel free to send it to your advisees, share with your classes, share with any other faculty members or staff. But that's something that we're doing at South Campus, and that's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity. We had the Foundation Gala a couple weeks ago that several people in the room were also at, and that was a really nice event as well to meet with a lot of our foundation members and all the great things that they do for the college. We have our Thanksgiving break coming up, and one of the things that I had to remind my students is we do come back to school at the end of November, right? I feel like I also don't want to be here, so I get it, right? The fall is challenging. We have the daylight savings. It's dark. It's cold. I get here, it's dark. I come home and it's dark. I want to stay in my bed, right? So I can only imagine what my students also feel. So I try to level with them like, hey, I get it. I don't want to come to work either. It's dark. I want to stay in my bed. But we have 3-4 weeks after Thanksgiving break. You know, we got to get it done, finish the semester strong, and all that great stuff. So, there's only 2 days of classes next week, Monday and Tuesday. They have a nice little holiday, 5 days off, and then back to business, and we're going to hammer out this semester strong and get ready to come back in the spring. So again, with coming back for the spring, registration is our new retention. We need to register our students before they're out the door at the end of this semester. We need to guarantee they're coming back. So we need to work with our advisees. We need to work with our students, even if you're not their advisor, to get them registered for the spring semester, because that's going to guarantee that they're coming back to us, and it's going to keep our retention rates and our completion rates up and high. I offer a 5-point extra credit. I've been offering this for years and years and years. I think I talk about this every single semester. It's 5 points. It's nothing, right? It's not going to make or break a grade, but it's enough of an incentive for my students to be like, hey, yeah, you know what, here, yeah, I got registered. Here's my registration. Awesome. You know, Dr. Quinn, what if I'm graduating? Great, show me a screenshot of your graduation application. That counts. What if I'm transferring to Buffalo State? All right, send me an email that confirms you're transferring to Buffalo State in the spring, and boom, you get to 5 points, right? 5 points for everybody for test number 3. Works for me, right? It's easy, it doesn't cost me anything, and it helps get that goal of getting my students either registered or even apply for graduation, because I had another kid that was like, well, wait, I have to register for graduation? I'm like, yes, actually, come on over here. Let me help you get that done, right? Yes, you do have to register. Let's get that done. And so now he's all set, ready to rock and roll for graduating for December, right? So having these conversations with our students are going to help get them where they need to be to complete the semester successfully, but also to move on from this semester successfully. So please, it's crunch time. We need to do this, and it's also going to help us as faculty with our numbers, because if our classes are full, then we're going to be able to potentially add more for the spring for our students that do come in at the last minute looking for classes, right? So that is going to work for all of us together. So please continue to do that. So that is what I have. One other thing that I'd like to add is actually at the foundation gala, I was able to connect with a bunch of people that I'd seen here and there, and one of them was our former Senator Caitlin Bearcree, who is with Northlands now, and so they are now going to try to come to 1 or 2 meetings per semester so that we have some representation from Northland, and so we can hear about all the great stuff that's going on there. So really great stuff, and thank you, Caitlin, for coming today. I appreciate it. Dr. Sagai is unable to be here today, so in lieu of her report, I'm going to turn it over to Colleen Reedy, and she's going to introduce us. Oh, CPD. You know, I have it up in front of me, and I ignored it. I forgot. There's one other thing. Dr. Marianne Perty also was unable to be here today, but she would like any session facilitator information for opening day in January needs to be sent to her office, which is cpd@ecc.edu by Monday, November 20th, which is in 6 days, right? So it's like this coming Monday. So if you're a facilitator, please get your information to Marianne so that she can plan appropriately for our opening day in January. All right, so Colleen Reedy.
Thank you, Dr. Quinn. Hi, everyone. We have some of our Student Government Association leaders to just share an update of what's been going on at our campuses. So I'm going to start with Alexis Sterling, who's the president of the North Campus Student Government Association. Dina is also with her. Dina is the events coordinator. So Alexis, do you want to give an update on what's going on at North?
So we had a back-to-school bash the beginning of the semester, and 250 students attended that. We also had a Fall Fest event, was probably like 2-3 weeks ago. And then we also had a Halloween party. That was our latest event that we had, and it was really fun. And then our upcoming event is our Mental Wellness Fest.
Great.
Thank you, Alexis. Also with us is Jess Wild. Jess is the events coordinator for the South Campus, and tell us what's going on, Jess.
Hi, guys. So we had a back-to-school event also. We had 70 students, but that was a big number for us. We also had a Hispanic Heritage event, so we had some dancers out. We brought them some food. Students seem to love food. We also then had a breast cancer awareness, just an event right at the school where we tie-dyed pink shirts with everybody. Some people did socks. We even made our DJ tie-dye a shirt. We also did a breast cancer awareness event for the girls volleyball team. So Naomi, who is our secretary, plays for the girls volleyball team. So we did that. We're actually tonight, if anybody doesn't have plans, doing something at City Campus. So we're actually doing a party for the boys and the girls basketball game because they have a doubleheader today. So we're giving away free food. We're doing some raffles. We're also doing a can drive. So I think we're going to actually give that back to the food pantry at the school because Perry said some people do use it. Our latest thing was yesterday. We had a thankful event, but unfortunately, because the Bills game was yesterday, a lot of the professors canceled class, or it was virtual. So we didn't have many students, but we had students write on leaves what they were thankful for. So that was nice, just kind of interactive. And then we also have a wellness fest scheduled too. So it's the week before finals. So everybody can kind of relax. And we have a massage therapist. We have some do-it-your-own kits, some like aromatherapy. So that's what we have planned.
Thank you, Jess. Crystal Robinson is the president of the student government at City, and she actually just is getting tied up in the basketball event. So she sends her regards, but really quick, City also had many of the events they had at the other campuses. They also did domestic violence awareness. They did a Fall Fest last week with a couple hundred students, and a wellness event coming up. So wonderful to see our student, and do you see how collaborative they're helping each other between the campuses? So thank you, leaders of the student government. Thank you for having us.
Great, thank you very much for joining us today. And then as the VPs of 3 campuses, you are voting senators, which you, when we reviewed who gets the floor and things like that, you most certainly can raise your hand and address the body of the Senate to participate in our debates and discussions. And you should be on the email list for voting. I don't think we have any voting items today other than attendance and the approval of the minutes, but you are full-fledged members representing the students at the College Senate. So thank you for coming. We appreciate it. You're welcome. Okay, so on to the approval of the minutes from October 2023. So the minutes were posted on the College Senate site. I'm going to need a motion to accept. Tom, thank you. Second. Jackie, thank you. Is there any discussion? Any objections to the minutes? All right, then we are going to accept them by consent. Thank you very much. All right, old business. I have the Governance Committee, Michael Rio.
So for governance, we still have vacancies to report for the College Senate. These are open appointments, and anyone interested in participating in College Senate should reach out to someone who's in College Senate, Colleen, myself, and current senators. Maybe ask around and encourage people to participate in College Senate. We will also be running an election for the voting liaison. That will go out. There will be electronic ballot. It will go out, try to get the nominations out before the break, and then the election after the break in November. That's all.
Great, thank you, Michael. Does anyone have any questions regarding governance? All right, moving right along. Middle States and strategic planning, Catherine Calesto.
So I'm going to give just 2 updates from Middle States. Is that on? Can you hear me? Looks like it's on. So now it's on. So we have 2 requests for supplemental information reports. One has to do with our OTA program. They are currently on a probationary accreditation, and as a result, we will be pulling a team together to help answer standards 3, 4, and 5. So if you have experience in standards 3, 4, or 5, or work in health sciences and would like to help the college on the report for the OTA probationary accreditation to Middle States, please reach out to me. The second supplemental information report is one that colleges throughout Middle States has received if they have fallen into a category. There were actually 2 categories that you could have been requested, and we have one of those 2. And it's revolving around our annual enrollment, our FTE, full-time equivalent, has fluctuated by more than 15% during the past 2 years. So we are requested to supply a report addressing concerns related to this in Standard 6. So again, if you are interested in participating in either of those reports, you can reach out to irap@ecc.edu.
Great, thank you, Kathy. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Next up, we have Strategic Enrollment Management, Dr. Erickson Nealons.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Quinn, and thank you to all those who were able to participate in the 3 open houses last week. I see many of you here again. Those were held on Tuesday of last week at North Campus, Wednesday at South, and then we had our open house at City Campus on Thursday. Between the 3 days, we had 203 student prospects attend over the events. We had over 100 students who attended at the North Campus. That was a notable increase compared to where we had seen last fall for our open houses, which was an increase even prior to the year of that. So now we've seen back-to-back increases in overall attendance of students for these open houses. So very much appreciate all who attended. Craig and the marketing team for getting the message out there through our different social media as well as paid media, different outlets for those events. Now the biggest thing is making sure that we establish those relationships with these students here early, nurture those relationships and get them registered as the opportunity presents itself in the spring semester for many of these high school students. Because of the way that we timed it, we did actually have individuals who were able to register at these events as well for the spring semester, which was nice to see. Switching then to registration, I think actually some of this dovetails into what Kathy had mentioned in regards to middle states. When we look at last academic year, we did see that our greatest decline overall in terms of total credits was in fact our continuing and returning student category. When we look at that over these last years, that's a biggest area of opportunity for the institution is how do we keep our students here and how do we make sure that they then complete to that graduation. We did see for the fall, spring semester last year increases in our first-time student category. And for this current fall semester, we are once again seeing a early indicator of year-over-year growth in terms of that first-time student category as well, which is great. So we're doing a nice job of being able to bring individuals here into the institution and start their journey with us. The reality is, though, once again, we have an opportunity to keep our current students. We're down in our continuing returning category this fall compared to last fall in terms of that student credit hour.
Great. Does anyone have any questions for Erickson? All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have the Academic Assessment Committee, Dr. Sabrina Kane.
Okay, I just have a short call for membership. As we know that the Academic Assessment Committee has become a committee of the Senate, and we need certain voting memberships filled. We have an open space for a representative from the social sciences, a representative from the technologies, and a representative from the libraries. So if anyone is interested in that, please speak to me, or if you maybe know somebody who might be a good fit for those positions, you can either talk to them or slip me a name and I'll follow up on it. But I'd appreciate any suggestions we have to fill those committee slots. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Anyone have any questions for Sabrina with the academic assessment? All right, Dave Uzinski, 7.5-week courses.
Hi, everyone. So an update on the courses for the fall semester. We ended up with 456 seats and 21 sections for this fall. That averages about 23 students per class, which is about an 81% capacity, so that's pretty good. Compared to last fall, so 466 seats versus 283, so it's quite an improvement. For the spring semester, lots going on. So last spring, we still had our high mark of 528 seats, but this coming spring, there's going to be 29 sections already in the schedule. And for the first time, we are offering a hybrid option for the half-semester courses. It's in the evening at South Campus for an English sequence. So EN 100 will run one night a week, 50% hybrid, 50% online. And at that same time then, after the 7.5 weeks, an EN 101 and 102 will be running. Also for the first time in the spring semester, the business department is offering courses. They have a sequential course, first half and second half. And off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is.
Business law.
Thank you.
1 and 2.
So Colleen, would you pull up those in the spring, please? Just to show like what we have. You can just say okay. You don't have to.
Just hit okay.
And then the course tags.
All right, so I'm scrolling down. You'll see on the left-hand side, course tags.
And then hit the
And I'm going to hit more because there's a lot. I'm going to keep scrolling because there's a lot.
And I don't see it, but
I
it's
don't
there
see it.
somewhere.
Did
Back up.
anyone see it
Back
and
up,
I
please.
missed it? Oh, jeez. Other. Perfect, right
Yep.
there.
And there we go. So to identify the hybrid courses versus the online classes, the 7BI is distance learning. The 7BH is the one that would be the hybrid sections. So I think we're in good shape for the spring. If anyone has any other courses to add for the spring, that would be, there's still time to get it on the spring schedule. Sooner is better than later. It is difficult once the students register to have them meet with their advisor again to try and register for those courses, and we're trying to get them signed up at the beginning. And I think we've addressed some of the issues that were coming up from last spring. Notice the dates are right in the title of the course, so the students aren't misregistering, hopefully. And I'm also sending out numerous emails to the group of students every week prior to the semester, reminding them that they've signed up for a half-semester course and if that was intentional. If it wasn't, please contact me and I'll help them with their schedule. And what was the second thing? I don't remember now. It just left. There was a second thing that we fixed, but that was one of the major ones, is students registering for courses that they didn't know that were half semester. I think that's everything.
Thank you, Dave. Amy Yoder?
Quick question, what's the difference between runs and meets?
So we had an issue where if it was online and we said meets, students assumed we were meeting in person and not runs, which means it just runs at that time. If you have better vocabulary to address where we're just running the class for an distance learning or meeting in person, that would be, any suggestions would be helpful. But we thought we could delineate meets and runs that way. But since you're already asking a question, I don't think it's working.
Well, I think it's also helpful that the meets are on the hybrid sections and then the runs are for the online sections.
Right, because we did meets originally for all the courses. And then I think, like I said, some students were confused that they were going to meet in person.
That makes sense.
But suggestions, open to suggestions.
Any other questions for Dave regarding 7.5 weeks? Awesome. I know
Thank
you've been doing a ton of work. He's been like on every single issue that's come up all the way from the very start of this pilot through what we're going to put forth for the spring. So thank you, Dave. You're a rock star. Thank you. SUNY Erie Facilities Report, Paul Danu.
Just a brief update. The Spring Center work is just about wrapping up. One of the main, I guess, bigger items that people are inquiring about are the blinds, and we really don't have an update. We tried to get an update this afternoon, but we have not heard back from the contractor. The city roof is continuing, and they expect to wrap up the current year work in the next week or two. They'll begin again approximately April 15th for the spring and have that done by the end of next summer. The city campus skylight replacement is going to start. They're supposed to have their first delivery of panels the end of March, beginning of April, so they're planning on starting at that time. The North Athletic Fields, hopefully they will begin in the spring as well. I know Steve has met with Wendell once. We're supposed to meet again with him this Wednesday afternoon. The B building mechanicals will be done start next summer. That's gonna upgrade the HVAC, which is long overdue in here. We had pretty wild extremes in the building. Some areas are very cold, other ones are very hot, so hopefully that will all get alleviated through that project. If we get the spec ready and out, the Bell Center roof and air handlers will be taken care of next summer. We plan to do some of the exterior lighting in the soffits of the building, and as well as the quad. Had some residual problems with the lighting. When they built STEM, they crushed a lot of the conduit. And the last project, the small one, would be replacing the stair treads at City from basically the basement up to the second floor. They're in pretty rough shape. That's it, if anybody's got any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Paul? Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, advisement in Workday. I didn't put a name on here because I wasn't sure if who was going to address it, but Kathy Klesto, tag, you're it.
Thank you. Can you pull up the sheet I gave you?
Here we go.
Thank you. So over the summer, this was distributed to AA and AS department chairs, and advisors within our general studies and counseling department, and the counselors throughout the college. So this is an explanation of times when a student may need a override within Workday. So as we are all aware, the general education framework has been changed by SUNY, and it became effective for our AA and AS degrees in fall of '23. So this sheet here, if you scroll down just a little bit, there are potentially 6 scenarios where a student may need to have some overrides done. And as you follow the sheet, there's directions on which type of override to do. If you process the wrong override, which I can speak from personal experience, you will change the student's academic plan. So please follow the directions closely, because then we need to go back and try to fix that, which isn't hard, but it does cause some angst to the students. So these, again, those 4 or 6 scenarios at the top are what we have found to be the most common reasons why a student should need overrides. If you are seeing a student require overrides and they do not fall into this category, there's probably something else happening. And we'd ask you to email IRAP, because what we're finding is in some of those cases, the student's declare date is not matching their program of study date. There are a lot of other issues that might be going on with that student that we're able to find and figure out for you. In addition, I just wanted to clarify some things. We have been, I think the whole college community is aware that the consultants and the college have modified the programs of study to reflect the policy that SUNY had, allowing courses to fulfill more than one category. This is a very critical element of our curriculum, as it allows our student population, who frequently may change their academic plan or their path through the studies, to allow them more flexibility in their program, but it also is especially important for the students in our AAS degrees, which are having general education changes effective in fall of '24. So we want to thank all of the college community members, our faculty, our general studies ISS staff, and our counselors who have been helping diagnose issues that we might be seeing on student records. At the end of last week, the team thought that they had a solution that was tested in Sandbox, that we would be able to launch it this week to clarify some of those confusing things that you might be seeing on your student academic progress. Unfortunately, we broke that on Friday and realized that it does not address all of your concerns. So we are proposing another solution that should simplify this a lot, should emulate a little bit more of what you're used to seeing, where you would process an override for a forest class to be allowed to meet more than one category instead of them automatically. We're going to prioritize those categories of general education. We hope to have that tested by the end of this week, and I will send any progress updates to Colleen so she can send that out in her update. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions on Workday and advisement issues for Kathy? All right, so again, as we are registering our students for the spring semester, make sure you have this document handy in case you do have to do any overrides. And then, don't forget that if you have questions, there are people that can help that are a quick email away, so that are available for you. Chancellor's Awards. I didn't put a name on there because I forgot to. Do you want to talk about it? All right, I'm going to turn it over to Vice Chair Kelly Nongst.
There's not a lot to talk about. There hasn't been any submissions yet, so we really encourage you to, think of somebody that is deserving in these categories, and work with myself or Jackie Bossman, and we can help you, guide you through the application process. It is a little bit arduous, but worth it, hopefully. That's really it. We've had a couple, inquiries, but no submissions yet.
Great. Thank you. And so just to kind of give a quick overview, you really need about 4 people on board for a nomination, right? So you need someone to do the nominating and to be in charge of the nomination packet. And then you'll need 3 letters of support and then other documents. So the nominator is in charge of the packet, if you will. So just to kind of give you an idea of what you need moving forward. So if you're, want to nominate someone that's amazing, but those are some of the things you're going to have to get. You're going to have to get their resume, different things like that as well. So unfortunately, it's not as easy as shooting me an email and being like, hey, I want to nominate Kelly Unks because she's amazing. I'm like, I agree. Here's the packet. You need to do all this stuff, right? So again, let's talk about our people. Let's get some people nominated. We have a lot of talented folks at this institution, and no one got recognized last year, and that is irritating. So we're going to leave this on the agenda monthly, but we're running out of months, actually. So there's really only one more month we can talk about this, because packets are going to be due the first week of February, which is before our next College Senate meeting. So it's oh, February, yeah, but it's really actually right around the corner as far as what we need to do. Because if you think about it, we come back around, I don't know, January 18, 19, somewhere, and then we got 3 weeks before packets are due, right? And right before that, we have 3 weeks off in between semesters. So this time period now is the time we really want to look at that, get our ducks in a row, and get our people nominated before we end the semester so that we can move forward in the spring semester and recognize some of the talented folks we live with. Or we don't live with you. I feel like it maybe. It's really dark outside right now. But that we work with. All right, so thank you. Jackie Bossman.
Hi. Yeah, and I think, sorry about that. I think it's important to consider too that ultimately we would like to develop a committee that deals with chancellor's awards, that really takes ownership over this process and is able to communicate this with the college community. So keep that in mind. I'm going to work on developing maybe a charge and structure for that committee for next semester or maybe the following academic year. But keep in mind, if you have received a chancellor's award, might I suggest just being open to the call of volunteering for the first edition of this committee coming forward. All right, thank you.
I think we have at least 3 Chancellor's Award winners in this room. 1, 2, 3, all over here. Just saying. All right. Keep an open mind of this committee you're serving on. No, so thank you very much. Does anyone have any other old business? All right, we're going to move to new business. Honors program, Dr. Sabrina Kane.
Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody that now that we have finished with our midterm grades, that this is a great time for you to look at your students and see if you think any of them would be good fits for the honors program. At the beginning of every semester, I send out a blast to all the student body asking them to basically self-nominate if they have either a high school GPA of 88 or a GPA here of 3.25. If they would be interested in pursuing the honors program, that requires additional academic work. They need to do 3 honors contracts within classes and then take a class which is the honors capstone for an individualized instruction project. So what I get in the fall is all of the students who are really good advocates for themselves, but we know here that we have lots and lots of students who are lacking in confidence, but are really quite intellectually brilliant. And sometimes what they need is a vote of confidence from you. So you can either, approach them yourselves and say, I think you would be a great fit. Why don't you investigate this program? Or you can contact me and I can kind of send out something to the students saying, hey, you were recommended by, Professor so-and-so. Are you interested? So any students that you think would be good fits, please send them my way. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Sabrina. And then I just did a quick search, but if you just are on our regular website, there we go, special programs, has a bunch of different things on there. Honors program is also on there, so you can advocate for your students or even direct them towards the website if they want to look a little bit more, but it's got the honors curriculum, the capstone, coursework, the contracts, all the different things that Dr. Kane has mentioned. So that is there for them as well. Get back to our agenda. Does anyone have any questions for Sabrina with the honors program? All right, academic standards, Amy Yoder.
Hi, everyone. The academic standards has been very, very busy, particularly the subcommittee that's reviewing academic appeals, which includes the probation and dismissal process, as well as our Fresh Start and 36 credit hour academic forgiveness programs that we currently have in place. We've done a lot of great work, and I commend the committee who even met over the summer to get this good work done. We will be back next month, hopefully, fingers crossed, presenting proposals to edits to the current policy. But the committee also acknowledged that part of the work that we need to do is strong procedures that go along with our policies and education too. Because, it always surprises me how many wonderful programs and options we have for our students that are on the books that we're all not aware of. So that's part of it. The executive committee just met last week, and we have 2 subcommittees that are forming that we are looking for staff, faculty and staff to dedicate their time to working on some policy language, but most importantly, procedures with both. The first is an academic integrity subcommittee of academic standards. We have a current academic integrity policy through the Student Code of Conduct. However, we are lacking strong procedures. And with the influx of AI, the education piece that goes along with it for both faculty and students, which is so important. So we're looking for help there. We're also looking for help on the subcommittee to talk about incompletes. We did a lot of work. Kathy was instrumental in providing me a bunch of documentation a while ago that we went through, and we saw that we see a lot of students that are not receiving good grades as a result of being on an incomplete. And then anecdotally talking to faculty, there's a lot of misunderstanding or not understanding the whole incomplete process, including that you don't have to wait a year. Even though they have a year, that's still a contract. So we want to clean up the procedures with incompletes, particularly to the documentation that should be filed with the registrar's office. So if you're interested in those fun, exciting committees, please reach out to me and let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. And we are also looking for a faculty co-chair for that committee. That is something that we did discuss in Academic Standards Executive Committee. Our minutes are posted to the Senate site as well, just like any other college Senate committee, such as CWCC. I think Gen Ed is on there. Their minutes from the last month. So if you're interested in serving on that committee and potentially being the faculty chair to work alongside with Amy, please give us a shout. It's a rewarding committee with the bulk of the policy work for the college that is academic in nature comes out of that committee. A lot of times we might be tasked by administration or the provost's office to develop a policy or to update a policy, or it could be from something that comes up through the education channels, and we're here and we say, hey, I don't think we have a policy on that. What are we doing with this? Like AI, for example, right? And what does that fall under, and how do we address that as an institution? So that is the work of this committee. It's exciting. It's really to the guts of what we do as an academic institution. So if you want to be part of that process, also please reach out. Does anyone have any questions for Amy Yoder regarding Academic Standards Committee? All right, fantastic. We have the Title III grant and the Transformation grant that were rewarded to the college, and Kathy Calesto is going to talk about that with us.
Yes, so I'm going to start with the Transformation Fund because it's a little bit quicker to talk about. So the Transformation Fund is part of the SUNY funding that was given by Kathy Hochul, and we the college chose to participate in the ASAP program. And I have to be honest, I remember what ASAP stands for originally, but they changed it. So I'm giving you the old name. It's Accelerated Studies and Associates Programs is what it used to be called. And they've changed that program slightly, but the whole concept behind it is still the same. It's a high-touch advisement model program where students are in a cohort model. They have block scheduling. They have advisor specific to them, a director specific to the program. Students commit to that program and the 2-year completion, and they receive a series of incentives and perks as they work through that program. The college has chosen the General Studies program to be the program in which we will cohort students through block scheduling, and we are starting that program for spring of '24 with first-time students in General Studies program. We're going to hopefully have a cohort of about 40 students, and we will be growing over the next 3 years to have 150 students total in that project. That project is emulated off of the CUNY model of ASAP, where they saw a completion rate of 85%. So we are being held to those metrics as we move through the program, but it is a tried and tested model across multiple community colleges, and 4-year programs are known as ACE programs that have all seen high success because of that kind of high-touch advisement program. I believe, I'm going to check with Adrian. Adrian, did we select the block schedule yet, or are we still working on that? Okay, so faculty and staff, we will be in touch soon with the coursework that has been identified as potential block schedules for the spring course load for those students.
And that's this upcoming spring?
It is, yep. In regards to the Title III grant, so the college wrote a proposal back in May, and I don't know that we've gotten an opportunity to really thank the faculty and staff that participated on that. So I'd like to take a moment to just let everyone know that this was really a concerted effort on I would say the history and work that both the English department and the math department have put into their work over the past decade. And so I'd like to thank, I know Sabrina's here, and Mary and Michael were very instrumental. Some of your research that you gave us was used in that report, in the grant application. And then Dave Uzinski, I'm sure there were a lot of hands that came with that math data that you did for us, but I just wanted to publicly thank everyone for their work on that. And I know there are a lot more names behind your faces as well, so I just want to make sure that we know that the work that this team has been doing was recognized and is in this grant. And the key starting point to the Title III grant are those English and Math Gatekeeper courses. So the Title III grant is huge for the college. It's over 3 years we'll be working on this, but the first phase of that really, because it was awarded on October 1, we had to kind of fly pretty quickly. So the first thing that we've done is address the English and Math Gatekeeper courses. So advisors should be aware that students who had an 052 placement will no longer be required to take that 052 for English. They will be in an EN 100 with that coursework embedded into the course. And then math, all of our math courses received extra seat time. Is that correct? The 7 courses we identified received extra seat time. So those are the first pieces of this puzzle that we're going to be working to collaboratively on over the next 3 years. We are looking for an advisory board for Title III. So if anyone is interested, it expands beyond just the classwork. So the whole scope of the project was really trying to advance our Start Here, Go Anywhere model that the college has. So thinking from that first touch that we have with a student through admissions all the way to completion. So advisement will be part of this. Student life activities outside of the classroom, all of that will be touched, along with a lot of professional development for faculty and staff across the college. So if you have interest in participating in improving the Start Here, Go Anywhere model that the college has, please reach out to the grants office, and I believe Crystal's here. I also want to acknowledge Crystal. I think I saw her walk in earlier. Awesome. So
Thanks, Crystal.
Crystal also is very instrumental in putting these documents together and making sure we have all of the paperwork and ducks in a row so that we can have these kind of moments of celebration, followed by sheer panic of how we're going to do the work. But there is a plan. We just have to remember to read the plan. Someone actually mentioned that to me. They said, how excited were you when you got notification? I said, it lasted for about 15 minutes until the panic set in. And they said, well, remember that you did have to write a plan for that grant to be awarded. And so we will provide that Title III grant. I think it is, has been shared more broadly, but I'll give it to Colleen so she can post it on Senate. And if you're interested in participating, we're eager to have you join the team. Thank you.
All right, that's awesome. So really great news on both fronts with that. Crystal, I would love to recognize you. However, you're nowhere near a microphone.
No, I have the title for the ASAP. Oh, you do?
Do you want to pop to a microphone?
It is Advancing Success in Associate Pathways. So very similar, but I just wanted to piggyback off of Kathy. So that's what we're calling the ASAP program.
That must be the SUNY brand.
Yes.
Of the CUNY
Yes.
project. Thank you.
Yes, we're required to, all SUNY schools are required to use that title for their project.
All right, great. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments about these two grants in particular? All right, so again, just many thanks to, as Kathy said, the many people that put the work in to get these grants. It's a lot of money to help our students. It's going to also address even some of the middle states concerns that were brought up earlier in the meeting. I feel like all these things kind of go together. We need our students to be registered and to continue and retain them. And all of these grants and these programs that are going to be coming out of the grants and the funding for this are going to help us with those goals. And again, with those goals, we can't meet them without your assistance. So again, you know, continue to reach out to students, advisees, any kids in the hall. I'll be walking the hall tomorrow and Thursday at South Campus, bringing people to the registration event, right? So it's all about the different touches, right? The minute they walk in the door of admissions until they complete. So we're trying to be a high-touch institution, and anything that any of you can do to assist with that to get our students to completion is going to be awesome. So thank you for that. Does anyone have any other new business that we need to talk about? All right, so at this point in time, it is 3:24. I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting. College Senate is not over yet, but we are going to move to the town hall good of the order portion of the meeting. So in order to close the meeting, I'm going to need a motion. Amy Yoder, and a second, Dave Uzinski. All right, so with that, we're going to turn off the cameras.